Holy shit, is the Orville Redenbacher window really shifting? Which is still on Twitter or X. And yeah, it's fucking wild over there now. It's like it's pretty much cold here. I mean, no one's dropping like N-bombs or anything like that, but well, actually I've seen a couple. And I've seen ones that with the GGA, I've seen plenty of those, but it doesn't really count. But other than that, I mean, it's crazy what people can post right now. I'm still like real careful because I've always kind of been real careful. I've been on the internet, posting on the internet since '95, so a long time. And even before it was ever explicitly stated, I understood, I had an awareness of that I was writing things that people could see. In a situation, things should be probably, in some cases, traced back to me. So like death threats or, anything threatening people or alluding to, even as a joke, or anything that was blatantly racist or anything like that. I was always very careful to watch that stuff. And I still am. I'll go at people and I'll speak my mind, but I do it in a way where it's not too crass, or too caustic. Just, I say what I need to say. I think the worst thing I probably do is memes. I've gotten in trouble for memes many times, or for things I didn't create. A couple of the bannings I got here on YouTube were for little video clips that I didn't make, So that's probably the most iffy stuff. But usually those are like to pass along information or in an attempt to be funny, or what I think is funny. You think about humor, it's like, if it makes me laugh, right, then I figure someone else will think this is funny. I don't ever think like, is this tasteful, or you know what I mean? Like I don't worry about that kind of shit. You can't. But every once in a while I get too lax with it, and things happen. But even a year ago, you couldn't get away with the stuff that they're getting away with now on Twitter. No way. If you said something that could even be misconstrued as racist, someone would instantly say something, and then other people would dogpile, just fucking try to dox you. It would be a shit show. Now it's like, oh my god. It's pretty much without people dropping N-bombs. It is Paul. Same kind of humor too. Same kind of slang, words, vernacular that is used over there is it's almost like a lot of people came from there and came in. Because Paul sucks now. It's absolute shit. It's all Glowies. It's all, people being paid to be there. And you can just see it. Like, there's so many threads that are started by them. I caught a couple last night that were almost identical. And what it was is like a shift had changed. And when the people came in, they probably have like a board up, or they have a notice or some kind of thing that they look at to tell them, what the night's narratives are going to be, what images they can post with these narratives, like, the instructions to make a post about Canada and use one of these images, and you can use the subject title, like, why Canada, whatever the fuck it is, and they'll give you what to post, an option to have a photo with it. Well, I saw like two right underneath each other that were just like that. Like they, two of them were hitting the same thing at the same time. You know, it's blatant. This is blatant JIDF or, you know, other government operations where they're paid to be on. Whether it's the WEF people, Klaus's internet task force, and just the way they write, the insults they use. You can tell. I can tell them. I could go on there now and show you which ones I think are authentic and which ones are shills, and I would probably be within the 80th percentile correct. Maybe more. I could probably, I don't know if I'd score 100, but I'd score pretty fucking high. And it's not just me. Like, other nuns can do this as well. You know, because when one of them posts something, you know, they get clowned on. Some people play along for a while, but then, like, so at some point in the thread, someone's like, you know, will just come out and start saying it. You know, like how much lost them, how much they're being paid, or what army fort they're working out of. Excuse me, I was drinking. Another thing that dawned on me too, right? Speaking of this Twitter thing, that I didn't really realize before, and now it seems so obvious. The culture, right, of 4chan and Poland specific, is always very harsh to people that post links to Twitter, and even harsher to people that post something on Reddit. Reddit is always ridiculed. There's a lot of memes about it. You have to go back, you know, and it's one, you know, the mantra about that. And whenever someone mentions Twitter, they get a lot of shit for it. And, you know, there's memes of like someone holding a Twitter microphone to just like a real retarded looking guy's mouth, or shit coming out of it or something. Glowies do that. Those are glowy posts. Because poll is a containment board. Poll specifically. But 4chan, you know, is a larger thing that is kind of a containment area. They don't want this stuff spreading over to Reddit and Twitter X. So they add to the board culture this idea of looking down on those places, like, oh, you know, they're all normies there, or whatever it is, however they fucking say it, because they don't want people who think like the people on 4chan going over there, because they don't want it spreading over there. It's a containment area, right? And when I realized that, it felt so obvious, you know, like, oh shit, yeah, of course. You know, as many things are, you know, it takes me a while sometimes to realize stuff. And when I do, it's always like, damn, it was right there the whole time. But yeah, so it feels like to me that half the posts at any given time, or more, are agencies, you know, people that are being paid to be there to create this post and stuff. It absolutely sucks. So I feel like a lot of people actually migrated, you know, over to Twitter. Actually, it seems that way, you know, because it's like there's the same kind of writing, there's the same kind of words being used. It's crazy. And what people are saying and doing over there, I mean, a year and a half ago, you'd lose your account for it. I don't know if I'm screenshotting examples maybe right now, but if I am, I'm putting them on the screen for you to see. But yeah, it's pretty crazy, and it's also really fun. You know, but the thing about the Overton window and why this is becoming more accepted, you know, no one's jumping on these threads or calling anyone racist or, trying to dox them or anything. I think that's over. Because I think people have kind of seen enough. They've experienced enough. They've reached that critical mass point where like, all right, enough of this bullshit. And what happens like with anything like this, and I'm one of those kind of people. Excuse me. Well, I'll let things go. I'll let things slide. Then I'm like, whatever. Let them slide for a while. And I'll just push it down. That's okay. Push it down. And then it just gets to a point where, I just explode, and all of a sudden, I look like a psycho, That's kind of where people are, especially my people. After taking this unchecked metaphorical beating on social media platforms, not just Twitter, and in the culture in general, it's just been really fucking harsh. People saying, doing things that were a different group, or were the situation reversed, they wouldn't do it. They wouldn't be able to do it, But Christians and white people, you can kind of, for a long time, for years now, you could say whatever you wanted. Negative stuff was even encouraged and applauded. And people just kind of quietly sat, Or some people went to 4chan or TV phones and, let some steam off by posting the gamer word 500 times just to get that steam out, Because sometimes walking around the house constantly saying it 24 hours a day doesn't do it. It feels good, from what I've been told. But, sometimes you just have to share it with people. So, I think it just got to that point where people were just like, enough, enough. And now they just don't care. They just don't care. People are pretty much on the way, ironically adopting the racist tag, like embracing it. I get some funny memes about it. They're funny memes. How you doing? Oh, no, thank you. Have a good day. I like that girl. She's cool. But, it's fucking crazy. If you haven't been over there, it's pretty wild. You should go check it out. Because, but it's pretty amazing, the plethora of, like, magic and occult type stuff on YouTube. Like, there's a lot of it. When they first started doing this 3 years ago, or was it 4 years ago? I don't know. Time flies when you're having fun. There wasn't much of it at all. Now there's like a lot of it, and one of the things that kind of drives me nuts is the AI voices. There's always it's the same like 5 different voices, and if you've heard me refer to myself as an occultist occasionally, it's because that's how they say occultist, the AI. I don't know, maybe it was spelled wrong in its program or something. So that's what that means. I'm not a VR headset. I just thought it was funny, so I use it a lot. But they talk about a lot of stuff, a lot of concepts. But it seems like the more out there stuff, people just don't show their face, or they don't add their real voice to it. They'll use like a computer voice, AI voice, and they'll just show photos. But it's like a lot of this stuff. It's like mystery school shit. Like, you would have to really do a lot of work back in the day. Even once the internet gained prominence, you didn't see a lot of stuff like that. Your best resource was still like ye old bookstore. You know, or like a used bookstore is always good to find all this sort of weird shit. Now you can like download a grimoire on fucking PDF, you know, and have it. It's fucking weird. And it talks about before how when times are bad, the interest in magic grows, you know, as people tend to feel like they don't have any control over their, you know, their life or their area or whatever. They turn to magic to kind of gain some of that control back, or at least the illusion of control, you know, to take control of their lives. And more and more I think of people who maybe didn't understand anything about it are beginning to even get the basic concepts down. Like we are energy beings, and magic really is just manipulation of that energy, manipulation of your will, you know, to change things here on the screen. I had a lot going on here. I had to concentrate for a minute. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like I'm finding things now that's like, wow, I never put that together, you know. Even the computer voice ones. The other day, what the fuck was it that I ran into the other day? I even made a note about it. There's no. So the thing is with the occult and magic, there's no hub, you know, that you can go to. There's no general. And a lot of the times, people use terminology that is almost what's not supposed to be interchangeable, but it becomes interchangeable, and it causes a lot of confusion. Like when I say dimension, or I use dimension, it's not. Dimension can mean a lot of different things. It's not the same in quantum physics as it is in geometry. It means different things. A dimension can be how you look at something. It doesn't necessarily mean that a dimension is something you can occupy. If I'm using it to explain the area you can occupy, I usually use like dimensional space. But there's a reason why we don't have a strict terminology for these words, and it goes back to the fact that they don't want you talking about this stuff. You know, these the people that run things, guys at the top of the pyramid, or that control everything, they understand all this. They understand all the mystery school stuff, and they use it to control the population. They use it for farming purposes. Like government programs that are dedicated to just learning more about it. You know, you hear about MK Ultra all the time. It's kind of like a joke at this point. It's usually a punchline in comedy sometimes. And the story with MK Ultra was, it was something they did in the 60s. And, you know, they don't do it anymore now, though. It's like, all right. They're doing the same thing they've always done. Like, you see those old depictions of child sacrifice, where you have the big temple and, you know, the standard kind of generic stock idea of child sacrifice. And you see all these, you know, wild-eyed pagans and stuff, and giving the child to for their prosperity, or for the village to have a good season. That still goes on to this very day. They're the same people. You know, they're the same people. Like, the idea that they would have some kind of system that they, you know, feel they benefit from, whether it's MK Ultra or child sacrifice, and then at some point saying, yeah, we shouldn't do that anymore. That's not good. No, they've been rolling along, singing a song, doing the same shit for centuries, you know. It's all still out there. Just, you know, you gotta dig for it. But with YouTube, man, it's like, yeah, it's crazy the stuff you can find on there now. When I first started this channel and started talking about some of those concepts, like thought forms and how to create them and how to use them, and I did it in a very sheepish way. Like, I had to lead up to it. I'd have like a 15-minute video, and I would really get to the core concept of it in the last 5 minutes, because I felt foolish. You know, even though I understood this stuff and practiced this stuff for many years, and I've talked to people about it in the real world. I almost fell down on my face. I just stepped on my own foot. You almost saw a boomer tragedy. Yeah, even though it was hard to, it's hard to kind of explain it to people without feeling like a moron. I was doing it very, very sheepishly. Like, there was always a lot of couching too. That's where the couch images come from. Like, I know this sounds weird, it's gonna seem schizo, but if you do this, you may have results with it, you know? As the spiritual war has heated up and gone into different directions, it's taken me away from a lot of that stuff. If you look at the early videos, I'm not saying you should, but if you look at the early stuff, it's all about that stuff, you know. And I feel like once I did videos about, you know, the main things I've learned or picked up on over the years, I have this problem where it's like I'll do something, and then in my mind it's done. You know, it's like, well, like 8 people saw that video, man, so maybe you should hit that back again. I had this realization, I don't know, about a year ago. So that's why I try to cycle the topics back in and out. But I fucking, it's always focusing on the depressing shit. But the world is in a fucking fucked up state. But no matter what, I always try to say, you know, hang in there. We're gonna get out of this, because we are. This is all just a little test. This is all just a little thing. And one day we'll sort of look back on it in the way, you know, you might look back on a dream. When you're in the dream, you're very hyper-focused on whatever getting the mission of the dream done, because every dream has like a puzzle or a mission to solve. That's why I picked up on that, where something is going on, whether it's an interpersonal problem or a fucking fetch quest. You're trying to do something, and if you can't solve it, the dream will change. You know, now you're no longer in a plane, now you're on a train. Because maybe on the train you can figure out how to get it done. There's another sentient kind of presence working with you on this stuff. At least in my opinion, you know, what I picked up on. So the idea is to solve these dreams, kind of like here. You know, there's problems presented to you, and you gotta like solve them, you know. But you just get over here on the street. I'm always like worried about crossing streets around here, especially when cars are around. When cars are about. But when you can have a real stressful dream, like, oh, you know, Nia always has these dreams about being at work and being short-staffed. It's fucking, she's trapped in that hell, always. I don't know what that is. But no matter how stressed out you get in the dream, when you wake up from it, you know, you might be like, oh, thank God that's not really happening. You know, because I've had dreams where I'm in serious trouble for like a myriad of reasons, you know. Imagined reasons, imagined in my dream. Although they're not imagined, these are places you go to when you're walking in dream state. Walking in dream state. These are not places you imagine. Yeah, you wake up and you're just like, oh fuck, I'm glad that's not really happening. That's how we're gonna kind of look at this place. Like a little dream, like a thing. We're gonna be like, oh, none of that was real. Oh, okay. I don't know what you're gonna go into. I don't know if it's simply like taking a headset off or like waking up into some other kind of reality, but I believe anyway that's what this place is going to be. It just seems longer because we have time here. You know, time is only here. You know, because things don't grow without time, and It's an incubator for us. We're growing, showing, knowing, going to the store like that. It's a foreboding sky. Usually when it rains though here, it's really quick. Like it'll drizzle for a little bit and then it goes away. Unless we have like a storm coming in, and then it could be like a couple days of rain. I like that though because it like washes the island out. It's almost like the island like sneezes or something, you know, just wash all the crap out. So I'm still going through the 7-0 addiction. I was in my comments talking to Higgy Pop about it, whose birthday it was recently. I think he's around my age, like almost exactly. But anyway, you know, he was another guy wishing me well with my addiction problem. And I was telling him, I'm like, it's such a strange feeling because I've been sober from like hard street drugs or whatever, like ones you have to buy illegally, right, for about 10 years. And when you're in that zone, there's like a weird thing with it. Like there's a lot of feelings that you're free of once you're free of the addiction. But so it's weird to experiencing all those again, like all those kind of little ticks and things, like trying to, what you're doing really is you're building your day, and ipso facto, I almost said ipso facto, ipso facto, because that guy was huge. That's not nice. It's just, but it popped in my head. Another missing cat? Another missing cat? Oh, no. A custom surfboard rack. I was gonna say the Haitians got another one. They got another cat. But yeah, it's you kind of tailor your day around it. Like just now, I was like, well, only got 3 more tonight. I should maybe get a couple more for tomorrow. That way, when I wake up, I don't have to feel compelled to have to go out and buy them. It's madness. It's madness. The only thing that is good is I can only do it for so many days, because then I have to wait for payday. So I blow through the money that is possible to use. And I have money, and then I have the money I can use to spend on bullshit. But my toy shopping is taking a hit. You know, I haven't gotten any. Well, I got a couple things here and there, but the thing with me is like there's not a lot of stuff to buy here. You know, I'm kind of in this area. In the neighborhood, I got like Ross, the Target, and the overpriced toy shop in the mall. There is a cool store though that has all Japanese imports. Real expensive in there. I bought a few things out of there before, but you're talking, there's nothing under $50 there. You know, it's all imported. With some real nice stuff. I'm starting to think if I should use like the comic book hut method, the way I got sober before. Whereas when I got money, I would run up to the comic book hut all the time. Comic book palace. I would run out there whenever I got money in my hand and just blow it all right there. And then I'd get rid of the money. So I'm like thinking, am I gonna have to do like the same kind of thing? Where I go out and just spend it all right away? And I'm thinking of that expensive Japanese robot store. Because if I'm like, oh, I'm gonna spend it on toys, get rid of it. You know, I gotta look around, and sometimes there isn't anything. Like right now, there's nothing anywhere that I need. But the Japanese robot shop always has some nice expensive stuff. Well, the overpriced toy store does too. But the thing about the overpriced toy store is there'll be figures in there that when Ross has them, they're $5. And the overpriced toy store wants $25. So like it's like just on general principle, I can't give them money. I've already given them a lot of money over the years for things that I know I can't really see anywhere else. Still overpriced. A lot of places are like that here though, because it's a tourist trap, right? So you're right in the middle of the, you're stuck here. You're not going to go wandering off to, these other suburban little towns. People usually stay around here. So because of that, they really gouge the tourists. Like, there's this place, ABC, there's like 100 of them. There's one every block. And we always joke that, buying lighters there, unless you get a Bic in a bag, their lighters have like 3 uses, and that's out of fucking gas. Because they figure someone's only here a couple days, right? So, they don't have to. It's all stuff like that. So, like, take that concept and then extrapolate it into everything, and that's their deal. So yeah, I might have to do that with the 7.0. I'll go to that. Let's see what they got over there. The Japanese robots. Well, I got a Gundam there before. I got a nice one. I think it was like $70. But they do have stuff I collect too. They have like the Batman stuff or comic book stuff, but they're real expensive because they're from Japan. They're made in Japan. The imports. It's fucking a real cool store. You can't bring cameras in there though. You can't film anything, and there's like signs not to. So I get it. Otherwise, I'd go in there and show you guys what's in there. Maybe I'd take pictures in there. I'm sure they wouldn't care about a picture. Maybe I'll snap some photos, and next time I go, I'll put it in there. But I think that's what I'm gonna have to do. Nia's tried to help me, but she's too easy for me to get around. I've been with her almost 20 years. I know how to get sympathy from her. We tried the thing where she holds on to them for me, and in fact, I would get more that way. Because she tried to monitor me and see if I was like, feeling icky for not having them. And she'd feel bad and give them to me. Or give me one, So that doesn't fucking work. She should do that with regular street drugs too. She tried to help me with that stuff. And she kind of did. But the thing that got me off the street drugs was kratom. Kratom, which I still take. When I'm on the 7.0 though, I take way less. And if I do take it, I'll take red. Because I get the white kratom 7.0 pills. Are the ones I like. So I keep the red powder around. To, take maybe once or twice a day. Just to keep that going. Because, everything I do. Cigarettes. Coffee. The kratom, now 7.0. They're all substances that if I were to try to go a day without them, I would be on the fucking bell tower with a weapon. You know what I mean? I don't think I have a bell tower on here. But the point is, I have one of those psychotic breaks that are so much fun. Sucks. So even though I'm not like doing drugs anymore, drugs, air quote drugs. No, I'm gonna get air quotes there because they're just fucking drugs. Even though I'm not doing them anymore, I'm still addicted to a lot of things. Like I'm a slave to substances. I think I'll always be that way. I think could burn a lot of energy trying to figure out why am I like this. It could burn a lot of energy. I'd rather take that energy and put it toward something else. But when it comes to 7.0, that's unnecessary. It's an unnecessary thing I've added to my life. Again, I'm not saying it's Corey's fault, but I should have listened to Corey. And to be honest, I'm gonna, include him in the responsibility here because he made it sound too good. So I'm giving him a percentage of the blame here for my problem. Not much of a percentage, maybe like 50, maybe like 35%. It's 35% his fault. 50 at the most. He's half the reason why I'm in the predicament I'm in. Fucking Corey, man. Till next time. Don't blame the teacher, blame the school.